Hey guys, welcome to another Get to Know Joe. This one's going to be all about Scout. So, what is Scout? Is he a Belgian Malinois? Is he a German Shepherd? Is he a deer dog? Is he a coyote? I don't know. I met some people a few years ago, and the woman, Evelyn, writes an article called The Barking Journal, and it's all about dogs. So I'm going to read to you what I submitted for her called Scout's Story. My wife and I moved from Windsor to Sault Ste. Marie 6 years ago. We brought our standard poodle, Hershey. Hershey was used to living in a house with 8 people and had no training whatsoever. We went from living in a large house in Windsor to a small apartment in the Sault. My wife and I were both starting college and had to leave Hershey alone in the new apartment. Hershey is not used to this at all. Halfway through the first day of school, I received a phone call from the landlord saying that Hershey had been crying and howling since we left that morning. This went on for 3 days, and they told us that we would have to get rid of him or move out. We reluctantly decided to make the 7-hour drive back home to Windsor after being in the Sault for less than a week. We left Hershey with my wife's parents with the promise that we'd come and get him as soon as we found a pet-friendly place to live in the Sault. Less than a month later, we were informed that my wife's parents gave Hershey away. I was crushed. Hershey was my wife's dog but had become my dog over the few years that we had him. I love the outdoors, and living up north in the Sault, I knew I needed a companion for my treks in the woods. We started looking for a dog. We did not know what breed we wanted, but something kept drawing me to the Humane Society. We waited a few weeks, checking now and then. We went to meet a few dogs, but none of them felt like a perfect fit. One day, our neighbor, who knew we were looking, ran over to our apartment and told us that the Humane Society just put up some new puppies on their website. She said there were some German Shepherds. We wanted a big dog, and Shepherd most certainly fit the bill. We checked them out online, and that day after school, we went to the Humane Society to see them. When we arrived, there was only one left, a little fur ball that they had named Sherman. It turns out that Sherman's mom was found at the side of the road with 8 puppies. The Humane Society split up the puppies into a few different shelters. It also turned out that Sherman was not a German Shepherd. He's a Belgian Malinois. I knew at first glance that Sherman would be ours. I also knew that Sherman was now named Scout. I vowed to myself and to Scout that I would not ever let anything happen to him or take him away from me like what had happened with Hershey. I researched dog foods, dog training, and dog care until I was a very knowledgeable dog owner. We now live back in the Sault. Scout is a very happy 6-year-old dog. He's helped me to train other dogs as well, and is best friends with my 2-year-old daughter. Scout is the best dog anyone could ask for. I am blessed to have him. Now that's a few years dated, obviously. Scout's turning 9 this year. My daughter's turning 5. She just turned 4. And I don't know if he's a Belgian Malinois or not. Part of me thinks he's a mix, Belgian Malinois and German Shepherd together. But if you do your research, if you look online, there are some Malinois that look just like him, but 90% of them don't. Belgian Malinois are named after a city called Malines, if I'm not mistaken, Malines in Belgium, obviously. They're herding dogs. They use them over in Europe for cop dogs a lot, and they're starting to use them over here more often. It's actually the same kind of dog that they took in to get Osama bin Laden. He's a little bit bigger. He's about 85, 90 pounds. Not a hint of fat on him. But like I said, he's getting older there. I just went to the vet and dropped like $300 on him, getting this Metcam stuff, or Metcam I think it's called. It's a liquid. I give him glucosamine and chondroitin as well for his bones and joints and his hips. But he's a good dog. He protected my daughter actually. When I went away for the show alone, I was gone, and I had no contact with my family or anything like that. But when I got back, my wife told me there was an American Bulldog that charged my wife, my daughter, and my dog. And Scout, I've seen Scout put dogs down before just for like smelling them. He didn't like it, and he put them right down, and big dogs. And I guess all he did, this full-grown American Bulldog charged them and went right for Emerald, my daughter, and Scout stepped in front of Emerald and just stood there and took this vicious attack on his face. I think in his head he knew he needed to create a barrier in between my daughter and the dog, and he got mauled. He had to get all stitched up and glued up and all on the face, which is crazy. I'm so very surprised he did not fight back. Again, I think he just thought he had to create a barrier, which is awesome. I never taught him that. I wasn't even there. If I was there, that dog wouldn't be walking away. That's for sure. But he did it. He protected my family. He's a good dog. He knows the deal. He's very aware of what's going on. When I go away camping, I leave him a lot of the times at home because he's a good watchdog. Nobody's coming in my house, and if they come in, they're not leaving. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I love him. I love him a lot. Gonna be 9 this year, like I said. So, I had fed him holistic foods for the longest time. I had him on a raw diet as well. Now I just I feed him a good balanced diet of not a holistic food. It's high-end food. It's not IAMS or pedigree or any of that garbage. It's a good food. First 3 ingredients are like rice, meat, and another meat, so not too bad. But yeah, he sheds like a madman. I have to brush him out all the time. Just a good dog. When he goes in a couple years, I don't know what I'll get. I've been tossing back and forth between a Bouvier de Flanders, and an Australian cattle dog. But I've seen a lot of different variations on those Australian cattle dogs, and a lot of them I don't like. There's only some that I do like, so we'll see what happens. But if I get a Bouvier, she's going to be a girl, because I don't want a 120-pound dog. And if I get an Australian cattle dog, it'll probably be a boy. But we're not going to think about that until Scout's way gone. He's not the kind of dog who wants another puppy around the house or any of that nonsense. So yeah. All right, you asked for it. There it was. Get to know Joe, the one about Scout. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon. Take care.